20th at the Tivoli.
Yes.
I think it's all there at the Tivoli. A great program. Tell us about that. I've been a participant in it. I've been, a viewer, a watcher, a customer. Really great time.
This is the 18th year. The first year was produced by the St. Louis Film Office, which didn't last much longer than that due to budget cuts. We inherited the event after that. But the purpose and mission is to promote St. Louis filmmaking. Every film, every filmmaker, every participant either is from St. Louis, lives in the area, or has a strong connection to the area to be able to in this event. So it's a lot of local love.
That's why to me it is mind-boggling that you had so many entries. I mean,
this was a record year for
filmmakers.
submissions. We had nearly 160 choices to make. I had 160. I'm the programmer of the event, and I have to whittle it down. We can't do the group hug. There's just not enough time and space for everything, nor does everything deserve it, and that's part of art, that's part of life. So I whittled that down to 87 pieces. Some are feature length, some are shorts, some are documentaries, some are narratives, and they all exist within the confines of this date range in 15 separate programs.
The St. Louis area has tremendous film talent. I always say that, and I just tooting my own horn because I'm a filmmaker. The people that I work with and the people that I have collaborated with in the past are all doing really exciting stuff out there. So to say, well, this isn't just a bunch of home movies gathered together. This is quality cinema that we're real lucky to have here.
Yes, and also during the time that we've done it, a relatively short time on Earth, but the digital revolution and the things that have changed the way people make film, assemble a film, do anything about it has changed just exponentially from year to year, and especially the last 5 to 6 years. People can and do make films on their phones. It doesn't mean it's the best possible thing, but they can, so it's equitable. Film was a very expensive, pollutive, terrible process, and it gets scratched once and it's ruined forever. Anybody of any means who's able to tell a story in a digital medium can do it, and maybe be in the showcase.
What range of kind of filmmakers do you have in terms of age or experience? Or is there a wide variation?
Not this year, but there have been entries from a group of 4th graders one year. That was an adorable little film on manners that people saw it at the event and asked to show it at public events all throughout the summer. It was just so cute. Up to a lot of college students who are filmmakers, hobbyists, people who are just want to make a film, up to people of a certain age like Jay Kanzler.
That came to it a little later in life.
Yeah, but
got old and wanted to make a film.
If people have a story to tell,
right.
They do it in the digital medium of film, a motion picture, I guess now. It's not really film.
Right. Okay, so since this is the 18th year, what does it mean for St. Louis to have this film festival, and what does it mean for the filmmakers? Where can they go from here if they have a film in the festival?
First, it's a thrill to be invited. It's a bigger thrill to have your film shown on the big screen on the Tivoli Theater, which is just our home base for many of the events we do, and just a beautiful sanctuary of cinema, set against a jury of their peers, their friends, their family, their girlfriends, their uncles. Everybody sits down and claps and cheers. And Jay, you've experienced this. There's not too many things in life that feel like that when you've worked on something for so long, right, and you don't know until the lights go down and the screen comes on, and then people clap and cheer, and it's such a great feeling. From there, then they often meet other filmmakers. There's a lot of networking opportunities. They're able to, winners of awards and things are then eligible to be in the St. Louis International Film Festival in the fall, our big flagship event. They are then sometimes invited, just from being in our program, they're headhunted, so to speak, and invited to other festivals. And it just grows and grows, and their story is told all over the country, sometimes all over the world.
Chris Clark, Artistic Director of the Cinema St. Louis, which puts on the St. Louis Filmmaker Showcase. As the Artistic Director, you make a lot of choices. And filmmakers, nobody likes rejection, but it comes with the business. If you don't like to hear no, don't be in entertainment, because you're going to hear no a lot. Do sometimes people take it personally? Do you get nasty emails, death threats?
I have had one death threat
No.
over time from a local filmmaker who was upset that I did not agree with his vision.
And I'm sorry about that, okay? I told you I was
Jay,
sorry.
you were just too into it.
People, and the difficult is they're live in the same city that I do. The filmmaking community is only so big, so I know a lot of the people personally that sometimes I have to say no to. It's hard, but I have to do what I think is best, and people do get upset. I've had people demand refunds. Why did I not pick their film? You know, relatives have said, "Why didn't you pick my kid's film?" I've heard it all, and it's I try to explain the process, but they haven't seen everything. They haven't seen what I've seen.
They don't know what I know,
and nor would they necessarily agree with one choice over another. But there's I have to make a cohesive program of shorts, and things have to fit together. Sometimes things are too long. Sometimes there's a bunch of things about the same topic, and I pick the best one. It's subjective, certainly.
At the end of the day, and I know this from experience, having been to so many film festivals in St. Louis, the St. Louis Film Festival and the Filmmakers Showcase, Chris does a great job of putting together an entertaining program, a program that exposes this community to a wide range of topics and filmmakers and actors. Can you give us, just briefly, are there some highlights that are going to be a part of the festival this year?
One of your longtime collaborators, Chris Benson, has directed a short subject that he's very anxious and nervous to present to the community. He's a great cinematographer who has worked for all over the country, has produced music videos for Nelly, has done a lot of feature films for Jay, a lot of people around town. It's his turn now to show his own film. Someone who is not a St. Louis native, but it's a very prescient and relevant film, a film called Atomic Homefront by Rebecca Camissa, is the third of a series of films the last couple of years, all independently produced, about the tragic landfill situation in North County. And this is an HBO production, and it's a very big deal. And she's going to come to town to do that. We have a documentary on Dick Weil, formerly with the Post-Dispatch for many years, now retired. He and his wife had adopted a number of children over time, and one of them had muscular dystrophy, and his name was Gabriel, or Gabe. It's the title of the film. And it charts his progression as he got older and older. He was less and less able, but he went to WashU and graduated and just charged at life like it was his last day. And any day could have been his last day. So it was a very empowering, great, wonderful tale. A series of documentaries, one of which is, if you don't know the name Susan Stone, you know her as the Dance of Life dancer, who appears at all those music events in wild attire. This is a transgender woman who is often ridiculed and harassed, but it's a compassionate, almost painful portrait of this artist who just does what she wants to do because it makes her feel better. A documentary about Tori Starbuck, a local musician who's been a punk rocker for 25 or 30 years. Great portraits of individual people. A gooey horror film called Tonight She Comes, also lensed by Chris Benson. It was the polar opposite of many of the films that we do, but shows the great range of things that happen in town and local filmmaking.
Chris Clark, Artistic Director of the Cinema St. Louis, putting on the St. Louis Filmmakers Showcase July 16th through the 20th at the Tivoli. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
you.
It's 8:30.